It opens with a young teenage boy who has just woken up from sleep. His name is Aidan. When he wakes up that morning, everything seems completely normal, as if life is going on as usual. But suddenly he hears something extremely strange coming from outside. At first, he can't tell where the sound is coming from. The TV suddenly turns on by itself. Then, an emergency broadcast appears, urgently warning everyone to stay inside their homes. Confused by what's happening, Aidan steps onto the balcony. Outside, he sees many people running in absolute terror. Everyone is screaming. He still doesn't fully understand what's going on, until suddenly, helicopters in the sky lose control. One of them crashes into a nearby building. That's when Aidan notices a little girl standing on the street below. Suddenly, someone begins eating another person like an animal. That sight terrifies him to his core. In that moment, Aidan realizes something horrifying. These are no longer humans, they are zombies. While he's still frozen in fear, someone suddenly knocks and forces their way into his apartment. Aidan panics and tries to calm the person down. It turns out to be his neighbor. The neighbor assures him that he is not infected. He explains, "They attacked me, but I managed to escape." Aidan notices that the man has bite marks and wounds on his body. Realizing the danger, Aidan immediately grabs a knife. The neighbor's eyes begin to change, turning pale and lifeless. Aidan screams at him to get out of the apartment. Eventually, the neighbor is forced outside, and Aidan quickly slams the door shut, locking it tightly. But once the door closes, zombies outside begin attacking the neighbor viciously, tearing him apart in a horrifying way. Aidan pushes heavy furniture against the door, barricading himself inside. Now completely alone, he begins drinking alcohol heavily. Soon he receives messages from his parents. They tell him that the city has been destroyed, all roads have been blocked, and that he must stay inside his apartment and survive there on his own. As the days pass, his loneliness and emotional pain grow worse. To keep himself sane, Aidan begins writing messages all over the walls. He gathers all the remaining food in one place, carefully rationing it so it can last him as long as possible. Weeks pass. Every single day, Aidan records video diary entries on his laptop, documenting his life and his thoughts. Each day, he also tries to call his parents, but no matter how many times he calls, there is never any response. Even the water supply is now almost gone. The pipes are close to running dry. Finally, the very last drop of water stops flowing. His food supply is nearly finished as well. At this point, Aidan begins to feel like he may be the last human left in the entire city. One day, while using his computer, he suddenly hears strange noises coming from the ceiling above him. Sensing danger, he prepares himself, when suddenly something crashes down through the ceiling. A zombie attacks him. It is a woman who has been infected. In panic, Aidan turns and strikes her hard on the head. He continues hitting her until she finally stops moving. He survives the attack, but this is the first time in his life he has ever killed someone. The realization shakes him deeply. The trauma settles in his mind. He carefully takes some of her belongings while staying extremely cautious. Day after day, his struggles only increase. He becomes more depressed, more hopeless. Then one day his phone suddenly receives a message. It's from his mother. For the first time in a long while, hope returns to his heart. He quickly listens to her message. His mother tells him that zombies are very close to their location. She says she doesn't know if they will survive or ever see each other again. As he listens, strange noises suddenly come through the phone. Loud chaos. It becomes painfully clear that zombies have broken into the building where his parents are. Moments later, he hears the screams of his parents as they are being killed. It is the most horrifying thing he has ever heard. For a long time after that, there is only silence. The voices of his parents are gone forever. Every bit of hope he had for survival disappears the moment he loses his family. Overwhelmed by grief and despair, Aidan decides to end his own life. He turns on his camera and records one final video message. He says, open quote, "I'm exhausted. I've given up. I have no water, no food, and no electricity left." Close quote. He stops the recording. He takes a rope and begins tying it to the ceiling fan. But just before everything ends, something catches his eye. Across from his apartment window, in another building, a woman is sitting there. For the first time in a long while, he realizes he is not alone. Aidan quickly removes the rope and rushes to the window. Breathing heavily, coughing and shaking, he stands there staring. The woman believes he might be infected, but in that moment, a new hope for life is born. The next day, Aidan steps out onto the balcony. To help the woman understand that he is still human, he writes a greeting message and holds it up for her to see. She reads it and responds. He tells her that he has been trapped in this building for 42 days. Both of them smile at each other for the first time. Aidan asks for her name. She tells him her name is Eva. Eva then asks him if he has anything to eat. Aidan replies that he barely has any water left. A few days later, a heavy rainstorm begins. Aidan quickly places containers outside and starts collecting as much rainwater as possible. For the first time in weeks, he finally has enough water. That day, he takes his first proper shower in a very long time. With this small sense of relief, Aidan begins to feel human again. Using ropes and makeshift tools, he creates a line between the two balconies so they can pass small items to each other. Eva is deeply grateful. But one day, danger returns. Aidan spots a zombie approaching Eva's balcony, trying to climb inside. Without hesitation, Aidan distracts the zombie, banging and shouting, drawing its attention toward himself. The zombie turns and rushes toward Aidan. Aidan prepares himself. He grabs a weapon and fights back as the zombie reaches him. After a brutal struggle, he finally kills it. But the zombie had already caused damage. Aidan realizes that if he doesn't find food soon, he will die. Facing the danger head-on, he decides to leave his apartment. After 45 days, Aidan steps outside his home for the very first time. In the hallway, he sees his neighbors, still in horrific condition. He drops to the floor and pretends to be dead. The zombies ignore him and move past. Once it's safe, Aidan enters one of the neighboring apartments. Inside, he finds a dead body lying on the bed. Holding his breath, he walks past it and enters the kitchen. There, he finds what feels like a miracle: plenty of food and bottled water. He gathers as much canned food and water as he can. Suddenly, he is attacked again. A zombie lunges at him. This one doesn't go down easily. They fight viciously until Aidan finally smashes its head and kills it. Breathing hard, shaking with fear, Aidan escapes the apartment and returns safely to his own home. Only then does he realize he hasn't been bitten. He survived without a single injury. Back inside, he tends to himself carefully. Soon, he finds 2 mobile phones among the items he collected. He decides to give one of them to Eva. Using a loudspeaker and a microphone, Aidan sets up a way for them to communicate directly. For the first time ever, they can talk. They spend the entire day speaking to each other. And for the first time since the outbreak began, Aidan hears another human voice. Happiness slowly returns to him. After hearing Eva's voice and feeling hope again, Aidan decides he needs more food to survive. He discovers a new route that allows him to enter nearby apartments safely. Through a neighboring building, he finds a way inside using a side passage connected to an American-style hallway. When he enters, his heart fills with joy. Inside the apartment, he finds a large supply of food, far more than he expected. But suddenly, an old man appears behind him. The old man is shocked to see Aidan there. Both of them freeze, staring at each other in fear. After a tense moment, they realize something important: neither of them is a zombie. The old man asks Aidan how he got inside. Aidan explains that he entered through the neighboring American-style corridor. The old man invites him to sit down. He gives Aidan food to eat and even provides cleaning supplies so he can clean himself up. For the first time in a long while, Aidan feels safe, but suddenly something strikes Aidan's head from behind. Everything goes dark. When Aidan wakes up, he finds himself tied to a bed. In front of him stands a female zombie, struggling and trying to attack him. The old man is sitting nearby, calmly watching everything. Terrified, Aidan shouts, "Why are you doing this to me?" The old man replies coldly, "I love her very much. I can't kill her just because she became a zombie. I also can't abandon her. So I made a decision to feed her human beings so she can stay alive." Hearing this, Aidan is overwhelmed with horror and pity. But survival instincts kick in. He struggles desperately to free himself. In a sudden move, the old man throws Aidan toward the zombie woman. She attacks and begins feeding. In the chaos, Aidan manages to break free and escape. Without looking back, he runs. He immediately finds a way to contact Eva and warns her that he is on his way. Reaching the edge of the building, Aidan jumps down, using a rope he made as a safety line. As soon as he lands, he hears terrifying noises. A massive group of zombies has noticed him and begins chasing him. Aidan rushes toward another building, desperately trying to get inside. At the same time, zombies break into Eva's apartment. With no other choice, Eva jumps from her building toward Aidan's. Aidan reaches out and catches her. At last, they are together. Both of them are overwhelmed with relief and happiness. But the noise they made attracts even more zombies. They quickly hide inside an abandoned building. Outside, a large number of zombies gather. One of them manages to break in. Aidan fights it fiercely. After a brutal struggle, he finally kills the zombie. But when Aidan looks down, he sees blood all over his body. Fear floods his mind. Seeing the blood covering his body, Aidan is filled with terror. He becomes convinced that he has been bitten. Believing he is infected, Aidan makes a painful decision. He decides to end his life so Eva can live. He begins removing everything he is wearing, preparing himself to jump from the balcony. But Eva stops him. She looks closely at his body and says, Look at yourself carefully. There are no bite marks on you. The only thing on your body is blood. Aidan looks again. She's right. There are no wounds, no bites. The blood is not his. At that moment, both of them are overwhelmed with joy and relief. They embrace the hope of a new life together. For the first time, they truly believe they can survive.